Here, another episode of Frosty Dingy. You got Caged Dolphin and the Flounder. Cope, what the fuck is up?
I'm just guessing. I'm just going to go out on a limb here, but I think you might want to talk football today. I heard there was some big moves going on in the old NFL for the
You
offseason.
know,
And that favorite head coach of yours just doesn't have a job anymore.
I don't think that'll last for long, honestly. Some nothing lasts forever in the NFL, right? Hell, Harbaugh just got fired after 18 years in Baltimore, which really, if you look at record wise, doesn't make a lot of sense. They're not firing him just because of not making the playoffs this year. Belichick and the Patriots, guy won what, 6 Super Bowls there. It's the NFL. It stands for not for long. And unfortunately, sometimes messages get old, and there's always times where you need to have an updated voice at the head. You know what I mean? Sometimes the voice gets dull. Sometimes there's just little things, and I think Stefanski's a great coach. As someone who went through a job shuffle myself this year, I feel terrible for any of those guys that lost their job. I mean, they got paid a shit ton more than I do, so I don't feel real bad. But like, it's a hard thing to be told, "Hey, we don't fucking want you here anymore." It's kind of an emotional thing. It's pretty tough. It makes you look back at yourself, and it's one of those things you try to learn from and you try to grow from. So I do I think there's a potential out there that we're going to get a head coach that's just as good as Kevin? Yes, especially this year. Fucking according to the league right now, 8 jobs are open. I still think after tomorrow, I think it is. I think it'll be 9. I think Tomlin's done. I really do. I don't think they'll fire him. He's been there 19 years. I think he's ready to take a break. I said that from the beginning of the season, though. I thought this was Tomlin's last year.
Yeah, you did say that.
And once again, I don't think there's anything negative on Tomlin as far as the Steelers go. I think he's ready to do something else, be somewhere else. I mean, who could blame him? I wouldn't want to be in Schittsburg for 19 years. But that said, oh shit. So I don't know if you follow any of these fantasy football punishment trends for the losers.
No, no, I do not.
So the guys who come in last place in the fantasy football, they have these punishments they have to do. And my son is getting back already. That one of his, not the league he was in, they had their punishment last night. It wasn't him, luckily, but they did the 24-hour IHOP punishment where you have to spend 24 hours in IHOP, and every pancake you eat, you take off an hour.
I saw
Well,
that on TikTok. Yeah.
he's home already, and I bet they were only there 3 or 4 hours. So God bless the 17-year-old fucking metabolism, I guess, because yeah, he probably just sat there and ate 22 pancakes in 2 hours. It was like, I'm not really full yet. We'll just do another dozen. What the hell? But yeah, so I got dogs going ballistic because my son's home already, and I did not foresee this. So we might get a live update
Yeah,
on
we
the
need a
fantasy
we need a
football punishment.
pancake update.
So,
We definitely need that.
Calvin, we need a pancake update. I'm doing the podcast. He gave up after 6, and what? Just he's he did okay. So this kid must really suck at fantasy.
Not only did he give up on the league, he gave up on his punishment.
Well, so he had another punishment last night for his other league that he lost, and he had to do what was called the milk mile. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but it is where you go to a track and you have to run a mile. And over that mile, you have to drink a gallon of milk.
Why would you put
So
both punishments on the same day?
I have no idea why they would do that. If it wasn't for the fact that I know this kid is like one of my son's best friends, I would just think they hate him. But I don't think that's the case. So I don't know why they would make him do this back to back. I guess realistically, if you're running a mile and drinking a gallon of milk, you're going to throw your guts up anyways. So at least he would have gone into today's pancake punishment with an empty stomach. Um,
It
but
still doesn't sound fun. Yeah.
no, it sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I love some of these fantasy football punishments that I've seen happen. I saw one on the TikTok where they made the guy who lost the league enter in a amateur wrestling tournament for adults, which I thought
That'd
was
be
pretty
fun.
good.
That'd be a
I
good
thought that
time.
was a I thought that was a pretty good one. There's some pretty good ones out there. I think one of the more famous ones I've ever saw was there was a Major League Baseball player who he lost his fantasy league that for the team fantasy league. And so during a spring training game, he had to be the bat boy and go get all the bats after every at bat.
Yeah.
And his jersey number was like 3-11, which was his record during the
His
fantasy league,
record. Yeah.
which I thought was pretty fucking good. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's all about fun. I won my league that I actually played in. Sorry about yours. I don't know how I haven't. To be honest, so I got a Android tablet last year, and the thing like died, and because I was on that and saved all my information on that, and it died, and I didn't know how the fuck to even find the league we were in. So I assume I probably finished last in that fucking thing because I think I set the record in my team for the first week, and that was about it. So
Yeah, I didn't do very well this year. Myself in that league, I think I ended up 5-9.
But my work league, I actually won, which I thought was pretty cool. And I've been, I've got my office, and I don't have any decorations up on my walls. I just got wood paneling walls and a window and a calendar right now. And so I think what I'm going to do is when I get done with one of these calendar pages, I'm going to flip it over and write 2025 fantasy champion and hang it up on my wall. And that way it's like a banner. And I might invite because everybody in my branch was in the league. So I might invite everybody in the office. Hey, team meeting real quick here, guys. Hey, we just need to hang up this championship fantasy football league banner. So round of applause for the champ, bitches.
You went 7-7
Oh
in
shit.
our league. Yeah.
That's
But
pretty fucking good for
you still ended up 8th.
well, you went 5-7, so I did end up last.
No, I went 5-9 and I'm ahead of you because
Oh,
I apparently made it farther in the final play.
well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. No, it's just I beat you in the playoffs apparently.
Oh,
In the Constellation Bowl. But no, I'll fix all the rankings and put them where they're supposed to be because playoffs don't matter. So we had, the people that go into fantasy league and then you go into the losers bracket because you didn't make the actual playoffs and
yeah,
then
I
they
got you.
tank to get a better draft pick. So where you finish in the regular season is where you finish. The playoffs doesn't change anything if you're not in the actual bracket. So
I got you.
so I have to go back
So,
through and move everything around eventually. But going back to your original problem, which is no head coach, I went
well,
ahead and plugged in the question into Grok. What NFL coaches were fired this year, and who do you think will become the new coach of the vacant teams? So the
and
first,
that's
go
kind
ahead.
of been that's kind of been a popular trend on the TikTok is asking AI to figure it out. And funny how many different answers AI has.
Well,
So it just goes to prove that there's not just one AI out there. There's a bunch of AIs, and they probably know about as much and are about as smart as us normal humans. So.
most of the time, yeah, it is based off of everything that they pull from humans right at the moment. So Cleveland, they have a very, very controversial coach
Deion
coming to that one,
Sanders.
according to Grok. No, even better. John Harbaugh.
I love it. So he's from Ohio. He grew up a Browns fan. I think, yeah, I don't think that'd be controversial at all. Let's face the facts. I think that would be awesome. Sign me up.
See, I think it would be because he's basically going right across the street to one of the rivals. I mean, you're
Good
going
enough
from the
reason. I
original
mean,
team to the new team.
I can guarantee you from the company that got rid of me this past spring, if I could have gone to a competitor and just then started kicking all their asses, I would have.
But yeah, they have Harbaugh slotted in there, and I heard Harbaugh was going to go to Miami. That's
I'm
the
not
talk
sure
anyway. That's the
that.
chatter.
So one of the things you never know what you hear, right? Of course, one of the rumors going out is Harbaugh wants complete control. He wants to bring his own GM, all this. And Miami just hired a GM. So who knows? I mean, it's not draft silly season, but it's coaching silly season. Like I said, right now, yeah, there's 8. There's people out there you can't even interview right now. So it's fantasy season right now for the coaches. My hope is that somehow, they talk to Vrabel and they say, "Hey, why don't you leave the Patriots and just come back and be our coach here in Cleveland?" I know that would be
You,
some kind of collusion, and we'd probably lose a draft pick over it. But fucking hey, we gave up 3 for Deshaun Watson. We might as well give up 1 for a fucking good fucking coach.
your future's already screwed. Let's bring in a
Eh,
coach to fail and get fired again in 2 years.
fucking Deshaun Watson. Fucking, we gave up 3 first-round picks and 2 fucking third-round picks, and uh, all we got is a fucking heartache. Fucking worthless
Well,
motherfucker.
you you could always, make sure that he stays in the mix by just putting him as the head coach, and it changes where the salary cap goes.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
I don't know, it might. So Miami, though, since Harbaugh on this one is slotted to go to the old Browns, Miami, it says Joe Brady, the current Bills OC, is going
Yeah,
to end
he's
up as the head coach of Miami.
he's kind of been a hot name, which I don't know. He's young. That to me, as a Browns fan, I think that's the younger coaches are kind of the hot things right now. I think Brady's 38, which means you have potential future with him for more than 5 to 10 years if he sticks. Um, I think he doesn't do any of the play calling, I believe, in Cincinnati, which I don't know how much I like that. I mean, if you're not calling the plays and you're the offensive coordinator, what's saying that you're ready to be the head coach? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
know
get that.
some and I think that's kind of what held oh shit, the guy that was the Chiefs offensive coordinator back forever. Oh, I can't think of his name. I think he was in Washington or Baltimore this year. Used to be a running back in the league. I can't think of his name, but he was under Andy Reid, and Andy Reid called all the plays, and he was, the Chiefs' offense was kicking ass, so it makes sense to hire him, but he never could because they're always going to the Super Bowl, so spots were closed by then. And B,
Eric
it's,
Benamy.
yep, bet at me. There you go. So it's one of those things that I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle a lot because A, the Chiefs were always going so deep into the playoffs, and B, he wasn't actually the play caller. So people didn't know, you know, they didn't know.
Didn't know what he could do, didn't have his shine on his apple. So let's see. How did in your opinion, how did McDaniels get fired from Miami? Because didn't he just come out saying that, he was gonna have a hand in picking the GM and all the draft stuff, and then he went to dinner with the owner. What the hell happened at that dinner that got him fired after all the press releases about he was staying?
Well, that must have been the worst dinner for any head coach ever. Like to call it a last supper, maybe, if you will. um, because he was done like shortly after that dinner. So I wonder, you know, maybe there were some philosophical differences between the ownership and him, even altogether. Like maybe he thought he should be in charge, and they, who knows? Rough decisions, rough choices. I love the meme I saw though that showed that he went into Miami's head coach as a member of the Geek Squad and came out as a drug mafia cartel leader.
Who was the drug? I'm sorry, I missed that. I was reading stuff. What'd you say?
So there's that meme that goes around that shows him when he like first started as Miami's head coach, and they say, "Oh, started as a Geek Squad member from like Best
Yeah.
Buy and left as a drug cartel uh leader because he's got the beard and the sunglasses and just looks straight from Narco. I mean, if you think 1980 South Beach cocaine, you think Mike McDaniel.
So did you say mem? Did you
Meme,
seriously say
mem,
mem
maybe.
instead of meme?
Fucking judge
Outstanding.
me. Fucking
I am
just don't make
judging
it.
everything.
Just don't make it a GIF.
The man that created it said it was a GIF.
All right, yeah, whatever.
So
6'7".
6'7" my ass. All right. So we got another job opening in the Arizona Cardinals. They fired Jonathan Gannon. Who do you see
Yeah,
going into Arizona that can make a difference?
I think that's going to be one of those deals. I think Arizona's going to get one of those time head coaches. To be honest with you, um, the your second favorite quarterback in the league, Kyler Murray, is out there in Arizona, and
The
look,
toddler that stole my remote?
yeah. So, anyways, like I don't think he's still going to. I don't know what his contract situation exactly is. I don't know if they want to go forward with Kyler, and so I think it's going to be a kind of a transition coaching spot for somebody. It's not going to be a spot, I don't think, that someone who is established takes. I think it's going to be someone who's an up and comer. It's going to get his first job. It's not going to work out great, but he's going to prove to people that he has the potential to be a head coach. My guess is like they'll end up getting fired, but he'll end up, going back to be to be a coordinator somewhere, and then like 3 years later, he'll get another head coaching job and probably be a Hall of Famer after that.
So the old Grok over here has Clint Kubiak, the current Seahawks offense coordinator.
Well,
He's
that
a
pretty much
rising offense coordinator with a track record of innovative schemes that can maximize Kyler Murray's talents in post Gannon rebuild.
yeah. I mean that pretty much, he's pretty much the answer I just gave. There's a couple of them, like that guy out of Cincinnati is another one that's up and comer, going to get his first time being a head coach. It's like Aaron Glenn, his first time being a head coach. He got the fucking New York dumpster fire, the AFC dumpster fire. Um, right? I mean, most of these first time head coaches, most of them don't get to go to one of those jobs that's like the fucking legacy job, right? Unfortunately, right? It just doesn't happen.
Well,
Uh,
you're not going to bring in the best when you're the worst in the league either. So
right. So, I mean, you look after Belichick left, what, there was two coaches in New England before now they finally gone to Vrabel?
I
Gerard
think so.
Mayo and someone else I can't remember. Maybe it was just Mayo. It's and here's the funny thing is there's times that in the NFL, some guys just aren't head coaches, but they can be amazing coordinators. And sometimes they need to go fail at being a head coach once or twice to really figure that out. Like, look at Josh McDaniel. He's been amazing offensive coordinator, especially for the Patriots. He's had a couple shots at being a head coach, and it hasn't worked out. Sometimes that's just how it works. Some people are good managers, but they're not good managers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
I know
can
what you
they're
mean.
good design
There's game
they're good
management and people management.
yep. And there's so sometimes you can take care of the scheme but of what you want to run, but you don't really know how to take care of the game itself. Sometimes you don't know how to deal with personnel itself. Sometimes people just don't fit the spot.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that all the time. So, Atlanta Falcons. Who do you got penciled in for the Falcons?
Um I think that would be an awesome spot for Stefanski, honestly. I don't know what they're going to do with Penix. I don't know if he's expected to come back healthy or not. Um, it's an interesting spot because the NFC South is fucking garbage. So it's a spot you could turn that team around and have a conference or a division champion next year. It wouldn't take much. Um, so it's you got Arthur Blank as the owner. You got an awesome stadium. I mean, you're stuck in Atlanta, but other than
Yeah,
that,
that's the biggest downfall.
yeah, I think that's one of those
So,
jobs that people look at. It's not the highest of high jobs available this year, but I think it's a solid job. I think it's something that somebody will take and be very happy at.
well, you and Grok agree on Stefanski going there for the same reasons as well. So that's actually surprising. They're saying that it's what the hell is that? As a retread, his steady play action, heavy offense would fit well in their young talent and provide stability. So that's what they have Stefanski penciled in for in Atlanta. So basically the same thing that you said. So you and Grok get to be on the same page.
Well, what you
Now,
don't
here's
realize is
this one.
I am Grok.
You are not Grok.
I
You
am
just
him.
think you know everything. There's a difference.
I I am him.
So this one might be a little bit more insightful for you. The Baltimore Ravens think that Grok thinks Jesse Minter, the current Chargers defense coordinator, because they need a strong defensive identity this year.
I don't know how I feel about that one. I think Baltimore being, let's be honest, to me, Baltimore is one of the premier jobs that's open. You have an MVP quarterback, Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and you got a spot that's open. To me, that's, you don't risk a first timer on that at this point, I think. Um, and you can make the argument that Harbaugh's first job was Baltimore, which would be right. And that would have been after they won a
Yeah.
Super Bowl with Billick. But I think the AFC North is one of those divisions that's always up in play right now because I think every team in it is in transition. I think you need to bring in an established head coach, someone who really can take it. Honestly, I believe it's Raheem Morris, the guy who was at Atlanta. I think he'd probably be
Yeah.
the play there.
So you wouldn't go to like try stealing a former NFL coach from college, like trying to bring Belichick back to it?
No, fuck, no, not Belichick there by any means. That wouldn't make any sense at all to me. At this point, Belichick is what, 68, 69.
Well, I'm just saying
Um,
somebody like a Belichick. I'm not saying exactly Belichick. You know,
I, you
somebody
know,
that
I,
did well in the NFL that went to college.
I don't know of any of those coaches in college that I look at and say, yeah, that's who I'd want to bring up. Um, so I can't think of any. Like I said, for that job, I think you want a guy who's kind of been through it already and can be a leader. And you know, like like I said, I like Morris for that job. I think he'd be a good spot for him. I think he's the right guy for that type of place.
Let's see, who was it? There's somebody I was just looking at real quick. Uh, you would Baltimore benefit from like sliding Pete Carroll in?
No, I love Pete. I think he's a great coach. Obviously, got fired from the Raiders. 73 or 74. He's not a long term answer. That's why I kind of thought it made sense for the Raiders to go with him last year. When the Raiders hired Pete, it seemed like it was a very 1 year deal. I know technically he signed a 3 year contract, but it seemed like it was a very 1 year deal. Like they knew they were not going to be good. They knew they didn't have a chance to compete. I think they did the right thing and said, "Hey, let's get someone who's done this before that we're not going to ruin their fucking career by being the head coach of the fucking Raiders this year because we're going to fucking suck." And they did suck. It wasn't good.
Yeah, they
Um,
no, not even a little bit.
they got the number one pick because of it. So like I think Pete's probably done. I think Pete would probably be one of those guys, kind of like Vrabel was 2 years ago, where when he was with Cleveland, where he wasn't a coach, but he was like a consultant, and he would be down there helping in the practice games, but he wasn't at the or practice field, but he wasn't at the games. Nobody was looking over their shoulder at Vrabel thinking they were going to lose a job to him, right? Vrabel gained a lot from that year in Cleveland, and I think Pete could be a guy a lot like that just because he loves the game so much. He loves to coach. Maybe, and like, so in baseball, they have what they call bench coaches, right? Where it's not the baseball manager, it's not the first base coach, it's not the third base coach, but it's the guy who kind of sits on the bench next to the manager, kind of the older guy that has been around the game forever to help the manager and talk through things, especially during game decisions. I think I don't know if there's those positions in the NFL, but I think Pete would be amazing at that. Pairing with a younger coach, say you wanted to, say you're looking at Arizona and you tell them, hey, we're going to hire Clint Kubiak. Okay, but here's the thing: we're going to bring in Pete, and he's not going to be a coach on your roster, on your like coaching staff, but he's going to be a coach for you. He's going to walk you through things. He's going to be your guy to go to. And I want you guys to talk things through because there's a lot of experience with Pete. And there's a lot of love for the game. And that's something that's sometimes doesn't get taken into account.
Yeah, so basically you're saying like a coach mentor or, a coach. Somebody that
Yeah.
just comes in and walks them through the day-to-day operations and the decision-making
It,
process and
and
making
give
sure
him a
that
title.
so basically
Give him a
it's like the
title that
caddy from fucking Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, kinda, like, I mean, give him a title that doesn't make people think that he's a coach babysitter, make him, I
Yeah.
don't know, vice president of, I don't know, football
Player
game plans or
operations.
so yeah, something. Something so that the players can't be like, "Oh, there's Kubiak's babysitter, babysitter." Give him an actual title. But basically, between Kubiak and Pete, you say, "Hey, listen, this is the position we really want you to take. We want you to be the guy that Clint can come to and talk to, and bounce things off of, and use your experience. And Pete, you love this game, and so you will enjoy it because you're still involved, but your involvement will mostly be talking game plans through with Clint. Not making the game plan, not deciding the game plan, but being using all of his experiences to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly of the game plan."
No, I can definitely see that working out well. I think that might be something the NFL just needs to just implement if it's not already there. I mean, they do it a little bit, I'm sure, but they don't actually have a position for it, I don't think. So maybe that's something they need to look into.
Well, especially with
I
these
pulled up.
young, especially with
Go
these
ahead.
younger coaches, that these younger coaches keep getting hired. And, like someone like Pete Carroll, he's got fucking at this point like 50 years coaching experience, right? That's not something you get as a 38-year-old. It's not fucking timeline possible. So it's one of those things that yeah, I think it's a great idea to be like, you don't have the stress of actually coming up with the game plan, but you can talk things through, because I guarantee someone like Pete Carroll, and he's a good coach, so he's learned from him, but he's probably made every mistake in the book, right? He has probably made every mistake there is to make coaching NFL or college football, one or the other. And so if you can learn from his mistakes, that's even better, because then you're not making the same mistakes.
It's the same reason you bring in a veteran quarterback as a backup to your new draft pick on there. It's just so they get knowledge and can walk through game plans and see things that you know, they're not quite ready for yet. But, like maybe the defense is doing something different and the veteran quarterback knows it. So he explains it to the young kid on how to fix it. It'd be the same principle.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the former NFL head coaches that are in college, which we already talked about Belichick and Carroll. And I don't think there's any way in hell Nick Saban will ever leave Alabama.
Saban's doing TV.
You gotta Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. He'd never go anywhere but back to Alabama.
No,
I don't think he would ever step foot
I,
in
I don't,
another coaching role.
I don't think Saban wants to do anything to do with the new college coaching, to be honest with you. I think he takes a look at what it is and he's like, fuck this shit. These are 18, 19-year-olds being given literally the fucking world when they haven't done fucking shit. I think Saban's one of the fucking
Yeah,
wise ones. He just walked away. He's like, I don't need to deal with this bullshit.
that could be. You got a Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, he just took over
What do you
LSU,
think?
he just took over LSU, your favorite
Oh yeah, I
SEC
know.
team. I'm
Oh yeah,
surprised
it's
you would
great.
even,
They did. They had such a great year. I don't know how you get rid of your coach after you win a national championship like that.
I'm surprised you would even verbalize Lane Kiffin leaving your LSU Tigers.
Well, I don't know. We had the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback last year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Me saying that they were going to have a shit year, getting beat up for it, and then being right. I don't know. I don't know.
I played into it for you. I
Now,
set you up for it.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. And don't get me wrong, Texas didn't have the season that everybody saw them having, but at least we kept the train on the track somewhat. We didn't go straight off the rails and destroy the whole program. What about Chip Kelly?
No, I don't think Chip Kelly's an answer. Uh I guess sorry if people disagree, but I do not see Chip Kelly as a answer. The guy's a flake. Let's be honest.
You got, huh?
Chip Kelly's a flake.
I kind of agree with you on that one, but I was going to let you say it. You got old Herm Edwards and Matt Rule are the only two left that coached in the NFL that are in college.
I like Herm, but I don't think he's leaving at this point. Matt Rule's not leaving Nebraska. He hasn't. I listen. I'm fucking an hour and a half from Lincoln. Hear plenty of it. The just like he's. I think people are torn. I think sure they'd be like, yeah, let's let him go to fucking back to the NFL. And other people really like him. But that's the damning thing of being a fucking head coach is no one you're unless you just win the national championship or you just won the Super Bowl, you're not going to have 80% of your fucking fans liking you. Let's be honest. Um
Well, it
so
is it is the Cornhuskers. All you have to do is time Michigan, and they'll have a parade.
well so I remind me, it's been too long since we've had this conversation as we're going back over our old predictions. What did you say the over under on Saquon's yards was going to be?
Uh, total was 2,500, I believe. That's
You
receiving and rushing. That's total.
I thought you said like 1,300.
No, I knew his rushing yards would be under 1,300.
All right. I just side checked because he did end up at 1,400 yards. So I would say he did not have a bust
Yeah, no,
season the way you called, but
he did have a bust season. So
I wouldn't call 1,400 yards a bust season.
1,400 yards. Sure about that?
Total between rushing and receiving, yeah, like 1,420 yards or some shit.
Yeah, the over and under that I was given on that was 2,500 yards. So I definitely was taking the under, and he only
I think
had 1,100 rushing yards.
it, if the over under on total yards for Saquon Barkley was 2,500, anybody that bet the over is a fucking idiot. Or they're betting because
Exactly what
that's
I was
not
saying the whole fucking
because
time.
that's the most absurd over under total yards I've ever heard.
I was arguing with someone that said he was going to get almost 2,000 rushing yards. And I'm
You
like,
know
he'll be
that
lucky to break 1,000
so
because
I
in
think
his history of stats, he had one good season. One.
so. I would say those are opposite end of the spectrum as far as what I would call normal guesses. 2,500 is just it's
Yeah.
stupid. Um, to think someone's going to get 2,500 rushing yards is just you're high. But to
No, no,
think he
no.
was
That
only
was
going
total yards. That was
no,
total yards.
but to think he was going to get less than 1,000, I think, is also going the opposite way. Assuming he doesn't get hurt,
I was
assuming he
closer.
was healthy. Yeah, but 1,000's still way
I would
low.
have put him right about 1,000 yards.
Here's the
I
thing,
put him right around 1,000 yards, and he only got 1,100.
which
I'm not
if you
off
tell me
very far.
if you tell me 1,000 yards over under Saquon Barkley, I'm taking the over. I'm not even thinking twice about it. Now, if you tell me over under 2,500,
I would have put him at
1,000%, I'm taking the under. If you told me 1,100, I'd be like, yee, that's close. That's a tough one. I think you played it too low. I think you're being too extreme on how little you thought he would do.
hang on. Let me pull something up for you. So now, just being what I looked at before I made my prediction. All right, he came into the league in 2018, right, with the Giants. First year, 1,500 yards, right? 19, 1,003 yards. 2020, 34 yards. 21,
Tore ACL,
293 yards.
recovering from ACL.
22, 1,300 yards. 23, 162 yards. We're going to skip 24 and go to 25, where he had 1,100 yards.
So
His
I
big
would say
year that everybody was basing their predictions off of was 24 when he had 2,005 rushing yards. If you look
so
at
that
his history of when he's healthy, he will not break 1,400 yards ever.
1,400 I would agree with.
He had one
A
good year.
thousand a thousand you're wrong. 1,400 yes. Like if you
That's what I was
average
going to put him at, was about 1,000 to 1,100.
if you average out, if you take out the 2,000, and then you take out the ACL injury tear in the year after the recovery year, which is kind of a standard recovery time. Let's be
The
honest, they can play, but
2021 and 24, you take it out and average it.
yep. You take the other like 6 years, and he's right about 1,100 yards. I don't have a calculator on me, but like that's about where he's at. So
Oh, let's just see.
I would say he had an average year for Saquon, which is still better than most of the league.
He had an average season as a running back, not as a Saquon, as a running back, because he is no one special. He had one good year.
Well, I would say I'd like to know what is the average running back yards per year since 2018 by running backs, because I would say he's probably top 5 or 10 honestly since 2018.
He
I mean,
averages
that's
1,145 yards per year
so he
on the
so
other
he
years,
had
not counting those 3.
so he had an average year for Saquon. Would you say 1100 is an average year for a running back, or would you say that's a good year for a running back?
I think it's average since they have so many fucking games now.
They have one more game than they did when we were kids. That argument don't hold water.
It does.
It doesn't.
You can think that all you want. The
The
average rushing yards for an NFL running back in a season varies, but it's around 1,000 yards.
So he's averaging 1100, so that's above average.
He is an average running back, where it
He's
says
above
elite
average,
and top performers exceed 1,500 or get to 1,500.
but they
He is
don't
an
average
average running
1500.
back. He is a
They,
decent receiving running back.
they
He
don't
is a good
average
receiving running back and
1500.
an average rushing running back.
They don't
I didn't say
average
they average that.
1500.
It said elite backs get 1,500,
So he was
like
10th
James
this year
Cooks
in
and
the,
Derrick Henry got 1,500
so
yards. I get that.
he was 10th in the league
100
this
yards
year
over
in
1,000
rushing.
does not make you anyone special. I don't care.
I
He's an average
makes
running
him
back.
makes him above average.
He is a good receiving back.
There was only 9 running backs
No, it
that had
don't.
more rushing yards than him this year. That puts him above average.
Okay. I don't think so. I think he's an average running back. You plug anybody else into that offense, they do the same thing.
You're talking potential. You can't prove that though. All you can go off of is stats. That'd be like saying, yeah, we would have never got to Shador Sanders playing quarterback if the Browns had a good offensive line. All you
Not
can look at
entirely
is the
wrong.
stats. All you can look at is the stats. He was number 10 in rushing this year, which means there's 32 teams, which means he was in the top half in the league of rushing. Only 3 running backs in the league got over 1,500 yards. Only 4 got above 1,400. Only 5 got above 1,300. Realistically, if you really look at it, if you get over 1,100 yards, you're well in the top half. If you get above 1,000, you're in the top half of the league in rushing yards. So if you want to call 11, or if you want to call 1,000 yards a season rushing an average year, I would say, yeah, that's probably right. But you get above 11, that's a good year.
Well, let's see. The top 17 rushers in the NFL all over had over 1,000. So that puts him right in the middle of the pack because it's less than a, you know, 110-yard difference between
That's a
him
big difference
being
though, Cobe.
10th
That's
or
a
him
that's a big
being
difference.
18th.
That's a big difference.
So he is right on par with if you take number 17 and plug him into the same offense, he's going to get just as many yards.
Maybe. We don't know.
So it puts him middle of the pack.
I'm saying it was over a
Yeah,
thousand.
well,
If
you're
if
right.
you
We
want to
don't
call
know.
1,000 average, that means he's above
Okay.
average.
He's right at average. I don't know why you had your O face up there because I can't hear a damn thing you're saying anymore.
So I wasn't saying anything at all. I was giving the tear emoji. Tear. Kobe's so sad. He got proved wrong.
Oh, yeah,
Tears.
thanks.
Did I make you
I'm not
cry?
sad. I'm not sad at all.
You want to squirt some tears?
No, you didn't try to wear the daddy pants. No, I'm not gonna squirt any tears. You just have a weird look at reality, sir.
Yeah, he's above average.
You didn't make my face change color or nothing. He is average. He is an
That
everyday receiving running back.
was fun.
Fuck team were
So
we
let's,
even on?
I don't know. So let's talk about how Casey's Pizza still sucks.
Uh,
We
the Raiders. That's who it was. Because we've already
the
covered
Ra-
all the other ones. The
the Raiders.
Las Vegas Faders.
You know who would be good
Who do you think's
in
going in there?
Vegas? Mike McDaniel. Just take the fucking.
That would be a great
Just ta-
place.
Just take
That'd be
the
a gr-
cocaine. Just take the cocaine mafia master straight from Miami. Just put him right out in the fucking middle of the desert. Honestly, I think someone like him actually would make sense. Because he is an offensive guy. They have Gentry at running back. They got some weapons. They just don't have a quarterback for whatever reason. They decided to trade and get what's his face from Seattle last year. I can't think of his name right this second. That's how bad he sucked this year. The other guy that would maybe be the guy would be San Francisco's offensive coordinator. I can't think of his name right this second. Uh, his brother's the fucking head coach at Green Bay.
I don't even see him on anybody's list right now, at least not on what I'm looking at.
Um,
Grok's
goddamn,
got Brian Flores going there, the
yeah,
Vikings defense coordinator.
I I think Flores is a good coach, but I don't think they need defense. I think they need to. They got the talent on the offense. They're drafting number one. They're going to take a quarterback. You want to pair him with the offensive mind. That's why I think Flores is not the point choice there. I'm looking at the fuck Clay Kubiak. I thought he was at Seattle. Who the hell's
No, it says Clay Kubiak is the offensive coordinator for San Francisco. He got promoted in 2025.
okay? Well, I think that's yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. I believe in that Shanahan tree. For some reason I was thinking it was Green Bay's coach. Fucking who the fuck is that guy's name? Can't think of it.
Well, who I was gonna say is probably not right, so we'll just look it up. Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, and doesn't he have a brother that Mike LaFleur? Yeah. So he's the offensive coordinator of the Rams. That's where I was off. I knew it was NFC West. Um, yeah, I think that would be the landing spot for Mike LaFleur. Especially he was on Shanahan's staff, so he knows that side of the offense. He's been under the guy there in the Rams now. I'm fucking blanking on these guys' names. It's fucking terrible today. Uh, but yeah, I think he's a guy that would be perfect for Vegas.
You don't think the other brother should come in there?
The one that's the head coach of the Packers.
No, Peter LaFleur. Cram it in your
Well,
cram bowl.
he does have a history of winning in Vegas.
And Vegas is usually only average. They could be the average Joes.
Yeah, that's right.
And they have somebody whose name sounds kind of like a pirate, too, at running back.
Gartree.
Who am I going to share all this money with? Sorry. Get a little Michelle going on over there.
It's a menage a trois paying, Cotton. Usually you gotta pay double for that.
All right. We've covered the old Dolphins already. They were next on the list. So your favorite team, one of your favorite teams, the New York Giants. How do you think you can fix the Giants?
They're going to
They got a lot
I
of
don't
young
think you
talent
can.
right now. I mean, they
They
got a good
do,
quarterback, a running back.
but they got an idiot for a GM, so I don't think it matters. I think this guy's cursed. Whoever goes in there, it's going to be probably his first job, and hopefully for him, it's not his last job. I think they should have fired the GM to go with it and started anew. So in this situation, I don't think it matters who it is. But he's a hot name and he's going to get a job somewhere. So I guess we'll go with Flores, but he deserves better.
They have Jeff Halfley penciled in on this one with he's current Packers defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
They think that he'd shore up their weaknesses.
Once again, though, I believe if you have an older or a younger quarterback, I think, and you want to really, which they do with Jackson Dart, and you want to make him the future, I think you need to pair him with a offensive head coach. Because if you go with a defensive head coach and you bring in a stud for offensive coordinator, he's probably going to get hired as a fucking head coach soon. I think if you have an older quarterback, you don't need that same connection between the head coach and the quarterback, and you can get away with doing a defensive coach. So, my opinion.
No, I'd wholeheartedly agree with that. So they have the Tennessee Titans on here. They have McCarthy going there. They got Mike McCarthy going to the Tennessee Titans.
I know he was a Super Bowl winning coach in Green Bay. I don't see what the fascination is with Mike McCarthy. I don't know why people still talk about him the way they do. I think it was kind of a failure in Dallas, which, when you're dealing with Jerry, I guess maybe isn't all your fault. I think Tennessee is once again probably going to be a young up and comer who, they got Cam Ward there at quarterback who just competed his rookie year. Uh, I don't see going with an older guy there. I see you try to bring in a young stud and hope to and give him time to flourish.
So they on this they're saying that he would have a presence long term in Tennessee. That's why they'd go with McCarthy. That he'd be able to work with the young QB Will Levis and run heavy identity, which I don't think Levis will be the starting guy anyway.
Is this last year's choices?
No, that's this year's.
Will Will
Yeah,
Levis just
our,
had that shoulder surgery. They got that. What the
that's what I'm
fuck?
saying. I think that one's fucked up.
Grunk, you're drunk.
I don't know why
Gronk
you're
has had
calling out the
Gronk
tight
has
end on this one, but
Grok.
there you go.
Grok.
Yeah,
Grok
I
has
think he's a little fucked up on that one.
Grok had too many Iowa State 1858s this morning.
Which I gotta try their new bourbon the other day. That shit was good.
Uh, at some point, I need to go over there, and we need to have a tasting at the Iowa distillery
Oh yeah.
because all I can find over here is Rope Bird and Prairie Fire and Saints and Sinners and Iowa State 1858.
Yeah. Well, I had to have Dirty Dursky actually get me a bottle from the distillery and get it from him personally to get it. So what he was telling me is they make a certain number of cases and you have to kind of be on a list because they keep out of every batch they keep 6 to 8 cases just for their bar and they only make like 100 cases or something like that, so they're hard to come by on the bourbon right now, but it is definitely worth it. It's some good shit. It really is. It's fucking awesome.
Well, there you go.
So go to the distillery, get it straight from the source, sir. So we got 2 games today in the old NFL wild card. You got the Rams and the Panthers and the Packers at the Bears. How do you see the Rams and Panthers going today?
Well, like logistically, I don't understand any world where the Panthers beat the Rams today, but they just did it a month ago. So I don't know how else to say that. I mean, like it doesn't make sense for the Panthers to beat the Rams. They're not even in the same league when it comes to playing, but they just did. So I have no idea. I guess I will take the Rams, but it's just because who knows? Carolina could come out again and surprise everybody. Packers Bears. Fuck. Let's be honest. I'm probably going to sleep through that game anyways. I
You're going to sleep through the best game of the weekend?
no, I'm going to sleep through the Packers and the Bears, and I think I'll take the Bears just because the Packers are without Micah. They don't just they're hurt. They're hurt, and Jordan Love is he playing today actually or tonight?
I'm not sure. Let me look.
I mean, let's be honest. It's kind of felt like the Packers have limped into the playoffs, so I don't think that's how you want to go in, really. So I'll take the Bears.
He is cleared concussion protocol and is expected to play.
Well, there you have it. But like I said, I'll still take the Bears because I think the Packers have basically limped into the playoffs, and you need to be coming in off a hot streak.
Well, they got the odds for the Rams and Carolina Panthers. They got a plus minus 10 going on. The Rams favored, and the Panthers are a plus 410 underdog.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, you look, the Panthers are 8-9. They lost last week. The only reason they got in is because the Falcons beat the fucking Saints. Uh, like I said, you don't want to be coming in on a shit streak into the playoffs. But I think the last time the NFC South had an 8-9 team make the playoffs, they won the first game. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Rams either. But it doesn't make any sense logically.
We'll throw some money on that one for you then. And it's got the Bears at plus 110.
Yeah, like I said, I
A
mean,
1.5 point spread I don't agree with, but either
yeah, I
way, I
think
mean,
I think people, you got to remember the NFL. The NFL doesn't set the lines; it's Vegas that sets the lines, and their goal is to break even. Right? They don't want to set the line. They don't want to set the line. So far one way or the other that makes it an easy bet to go the other way. People still want to believe that the Packers have something in them. People still don't believe in the Bears. I think that's why it's only 1.5. I think if it was a, I think if they went into it as, and you don't see pick'ems anymore in Vegas lines like you used to. I think if you see if the Packers went favored, I think the betting would be too heavy on the Bears. But I think if you made it Bears plus 3, I think the betting would be too high on the Packers. So I think that's why they did the 1.5.
Yeah. So we got 3 games tomorrow. And in this one, they got you haven't seen this in like fucking forever. They have the Jacksonville Jaguars favorite over the Buffalo Bills by 1.5.
Yeah, Jacksonville, they were right there for a chance at the 1 seed up until the end, basically. Um, which I hate because we have their number 1 pick. So I hope they lose immediately.
Well, that'll only help you out, but in all
That's
reality, I
right.
think they have a shot at winning. So
Yeah, the this is probably, so I would say this is the Bills. If you look at the other teams in the playoffs, I think this is you would say, yeah, this is the Bills' year to win. But this is probably the worst Bills team that they have had in 6 years or 7 years.
yeah,
So I don't
it's
think
not
they
what it
can
used to
win.
be.
No, so I don't think they can win. So I think I will actually go with the Jaguars, but I really want it to be the Bills.
You got the Niners and the Eagles.
Uh, I think the Niners win it. Eagles are, I don't know. The Eagles have been underwhelming all year. I think we would both agree with that. They have an above average running back,
I think they have a
uh,
shit running back. So
I think the NFC West, as we've talked about the whole time, I think they're the best 3 teams in the fucking conference. So
they actually
I
had the
will,
the Eagles favored by 6.
yeah, I don't know what they see there. I think once again we're talking about Vegas trying to make sure they don't lose money. Um, I boy, I don't know. Fuck, I don't. What do they see that they think the Eagles are 6 points better than the Niners?
I'm guessing that they think Saquon Barkley is a top 10 running back.
Well, by yards, he was number 10.
They think Philadelphia is going to do nothing but the tush push the entire game.
Well, that would drain the clock.
Yeah, and it'd
It
be
would
a
also,
6-point game, 1 touchdown.
yeah. Um, I Yeah, I think San Francisco is going to win that. I really do, but I just don't see where. I don't see how the spread was that big.
I don't get that one quite either, but I'm not Vegas. They usually know something we don't. You got the Chargers and the Patriots, and they have the Patriots favored by 3.5.
I'll take the Patriots 1,000% there. I don't think I like the Chargers. I think there's talk about their defensive coordinator moving on to become a head coach. You know, and the Patriots are a fucking solid team. So I'll take the Patriots.
I I think the Patriots will get it. I like Herbert, but I don't think he's got enough firepower around him. So I'll definitely lean towards the Patriots. Then you got your old Monday night game, the Texans and the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't think Schittsburg can win here. I think the Texans defense is too fucking good. Um,
They are
I
favored
know
by
it's
3. So
the Texans are, or
yes,
Pittsburgh.
they are. Texans.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't believe in the Steelers. I really don't. But I kind of said it all year, and I said it in the preseason. I think this is the end for Tomlin. I think this is the end for Rodgers, and I think they're going to give everything they fucking have to do it. So I guess I don't know. I mean, logically, I would want to take Houston, but for some reason, I'm like, fucking Pittsburgh is going to end up pulling this motherfucker off,
Yep,
and I
because
hate
they're
it.
going to play like there's no tomorrow. Because well, there ain't.
There's Yeah. I think Tomlin's tired. I think he was been a great coach. I think he's tired. I think he's ready for a break. And I think he
Do
wants
you think we're
to
gonna
go
go
ahead.
ahead? So, do you
Yeah, I
think that
just
the announcers are gonna oh, too late now, I started talking. So, do you think the announcers are gonna look down from the booth and be like, "See, smoking on the field?" when they look at Aaron
uh
Rodgers?
I I d- I doubt it, but you never know. Aaron's my guess is maybe I heard a rumor that he's missing today's practice because he's going to go hang out in one of those dark baths all day. where you just float in the salt water and relax.
The sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, just to clear his mind. Because it's so like I said, I to me it only makes sense to me it only makes sense for the Texans to win. But like I said, I there's when your head coach, who I believe is probably done after this year, and your quarterback is said he's done after this year, they're going to go after it. So it wouldn't surprise me if they win, but the Texans seem to be the logical choice.
I agree. I would take the Texans all day, but Rodgers has pulled shit out of his ass before.
Well, I
Take that
don't
how you
judge what
want,
happens
but I
between
was
him.
talking
I,
football.
I don't judge what happens between a man and his wife.
So, any other NFL fireworks that you got going on in your head or moves that you think's going to happen?
No, I mean, I think we got to wait. Probably, I mean, we might have a coach announced or two before the Super Bowl, but I think a lot of this will wait till things start to clear up. If someone really wants someone that's still in the playoffs, they'll wait. But it's hard to say. I think I could see a team announcing a head coach that's already been fired or is not in the playoffs going ahead and making that choice before in the next couple weeks. But if you're looking for somebody who is like a Rams offensive coordinator, who I think would be great in Vegas, yeah, you're probably waiting a while.
All right. Well, it seems like we got the whole NFL covered today. I think we should go ahead and call it a day. Let you get back to your football preparations and your honeydew lists, and I will
Yeah.
go find something to eat.
Well, choose something better than Casey's Pizza because it's below average.
There is nothing better than Casey's Pizza unless you hang out with Saquon Barkley and think he's better than average.
Yeah, Casey's Pizza. You know why they have to have a hack for Casey's Pizza? Because it's that bad. You
A
don't have hacks
hack?
for things that, yeah, the Casey's Pizza hack. Certainly, you've seen
Oh
the
no, we
Casey's
only have to
Pizza
do that
hack.
in your town. I think it's still just a you problem.
No,
There is a menu on there. When it pops up with your name on the order, they purposely fuck it up because you badmouth them so much.
you know what? They
If I
deserve it.
would go
They
order a
suck.
pizza from there,
Yeah,
if I got a pizza from there, it'd be perfect.
I'm just saying things. People find hacks around things that suck. Just
I
search the
haven't ever had to
TikTok.
hack it. I just gave you an idea.
Just search the TikTok for the Casey's Pizza hack. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh, calm down, Dave Portnoy.
It's one of the few
Coming
times
into
I agree
Iowa
with Dave
saying,
Courtney. One of the few intelligent things that fucking idiot's ever said.
old Dave Portnoy. I think he says a lot of smart things other than Casey's Pizza one. Did you see the one where he did Fong's Pizza in Des Moines?
No.
You need to look that one up because it's funny. Because the owner of the place told him not to get the cheese pizza because it was not good. It's not what you do. It's not what you're looking for. Don't eat that. You have to get the crab rangoon pizza. So he does the grade scale on the cheese pizza, and then
Yeah,
she
which
makes him do the crab rangoon pizza. And he's like, anybody that eats this whole fucking thing is ridiculous because it feels like in this one piece of pizza that I've had 10 crab rangoons in one slice. He goes, it's good. I don't have anything to score it against. It's good, but if you can eat this whole pizza, you got problems.
no, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think you need to watch that one. That was a pretty good one. I don't really agree with some of the scores that he put out, but I do agree with his philosophy that that's what he likes. So he doesn't waver from his viewpoint depending on where he's at ever. So I'll give him that for the backing. But if it is anything other than cheese, he don't know how to score it because he doesn't eat it.
Yeah. When I think they call that Kevin McAllisterism or whatever the fuck Kevin McAllisterism. Did we get a plain
And
cheese pizza?
just for me, uh, I do not agree with I think it's the Neapolitan style pizza where I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. Anything where they put the sauce on top of the cheese, or they only put the square pieces of cheese on the pizza and leave sauce open. I don't agree with those pizzas. That's not a pizza.
Yeah, I hate that sound. It's like when you get like fucking hash browns at a restaurant and they put a piece of sliced velveted cheese on top. No, it doesn't work. It needs to be fucking shredded fucking sharp cheddar. Don't give me fucking matzo or fucking whatever the fuck it is, whatever the
Craft
hell I just
single.
said. Yeah, don't put a Kraft single on top of my fucking hash browns. It's fucking weird.
And then you go to cut through it and it's not melded enough because they just tossed it on at the end, and then you
Yeah.
get nothing but the cheese slice on your fork. Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
So so long ago in a time far, far away, someone might have accidentally bought cheese at the local grocery store, and it was, it looked like regular cheese, but the package said imitation mozzarella. And it might have been 78% plastic because the shit didn't even melt.
Well, I thought you were going a whole total different direction with this conversation. My bad.
Yeah, no, this imitation mozzarella was it might have been able to be molded after it got cooked and made into a free mini soccer ball, actually.
There it is. That's exactly where I thought you were going with this conversation,
And that thing,
because
this
that's how we ended up with a free mini soccer ball too, was
yeah, that
buying
was for
cheese.
craft singles. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we
No,
had to buy 2 blocks of fucking singles to get a free mini soccer ball.
worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's been 20 years of laughs.
yeah, yeah, and I will probably say you're probably the one responsible for me not having any kids. The amount of times that you
Uh,
hit me in the balls with free mini soccer ball.
you know what? The
The
rest of the
world
world
thanks you.
appreciates that.
The world thanks you, sir.
I think I'm
My
getting
mom was mad, but
yeah, I think I'm getting like I don't know, like a FIFA World Thanks trophy next year because of that.
not the Nobel Prize
No, not the Nobel,
for
not the
peacekeeping.
Nobel, not the Nobel. Thank you for keeping Kobe from having kids, but the second-rate FIFA. Thank you for keeping Kobe from having kids award.
You're going to be honorarily mentioned at the FIFA finals.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they should probably make free mini soccer ball into a video game
You
to where you
know,
have to bank
the,
it off walls and around corners and sneak attack and
yeah,
throw it through a window, hit
it's
me in the parking lot.
it's really too bad that they haven't taken, like, say, Call of Duty and made it a Nerf version of it yet. Imagine taking Call of Duty and Army Men and making it a Nerf game, so you could get like
They
the
call
Nerf,
that
like,
paintball.
yeah. Well, I guess the kids play a paintball game on their Roblox or whatever, but yeah, imagine, like, you could get like the Nerf, all the different Nerf guns, and start with the little single shot, and pretty soon you can get up to like the crossbow and all that.
They have similar games like that. And if you want to play it in real life, you can play it airsoft because the airsoft guys are getting pretty creative.
Well, and I tell you what, I
They
haven't
got the
seen them
gilt
lately.
boots and the sniper rifles.
I haven't seen it lately. Maybe it just hasn't been on my algorithm, but I used to follow that airsoft cam man who was like a ghillie guy who, like, would shoot people, and they didn't even, there was one time he like got stepped on. He was so people didn't even see him. So it
That's
was it's
Maverick, isn't it?
no, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
his
just
name's Maverick on there.
I think he's like Australian or something. I don't think he's American even. I think he's British or something. But
Yeah. No, I followed all that. He's pretty good.
he's obviously not French because
I
I've never
definitely
seen
want.
him. He's not French. I've never seen him surrender.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't do that. He gets shot every now and then, but not very often. I like it
Well,
when
I
he
can tell
sneaks
you
into their spawn. That's always a good time.
I can tell you this now. Our viewership in France is not going up now.
Well, since we don't have any viewership in France, that's a good thing.
Well, it's not going up.
But we did go up 2 percentage points in Australia.
Well,
They
that's a
have
pretty
gone
cool
up a little
country.
bit, and Canada went up a little bit again.
Have a Labatt's for me
So
there, eh?
I did say in the last episode with Jerry that their beer's like moonshine.
That's great.
Let's just take a look, shall we? I got my phone thing up there. Oh, I forgot about them. Ireland has also gone up.
Well, we talk
Ireland
enough alcohol.
is third overall now. Yeah. Then we got Australia, Sweden, Belgium,
They
the
love us.
Netherlands has gone up a little bit.
They love us in the Baltic.
Yeah. United Kingdom is tied with Mexico on viewership. And then you got everybody else is tied with Denmark, Iceland, Brazil, Norway, Lithuania, and New Zealand.
Good eye, mate.
So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that, people in other countries actually even watch a single episode, if not more. I didn't ever think that we'd get out of America with this, but I
Well,
definitely appreciate everybody that watches from other countries.
I question their life choices, but I appreciate it also.
I don't know. There's some days we're entertaining. At least I think so. And that's why we do this. Get some quality time.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down and get ready for some lunch. Apparently I need to go grab a snack. My tummy's saying I need food in it. So
Well, it
I
sounds
hope
good,
you
man.
have
We'll catch
a
you later.
wonderful day.
You too.
All
Enjoy
right, man.
yourself.
Have a good day.
Later.
And Saquon sucks. All right. It's called Frosty Dinghy, and I'm the dolphin, and you're the flounder.
Well, I guess. I think it should be Dr. Parker, but